Can I get everybody's attention? Could I please have James Destatel to the stage? James Destatel.
This is the final call for delegates to be seated.
The House of Delegates will come to order. We are now holding the second business session of the 87th Louisiana FFA Convention. Thank you, delegates, for attending this important session in which we will be conducting business for our association. If you open your convention programs to page 24, you will find the agenda for this session. We will begin by calling the roll. You should currently be seated by area in your designated chapter seating. As a vice president calls your chapter, please stand to be counted and remain standing until an accurate number of delegates are announced from your chapter. State vice presidents, will you begin the roll call? With a total of 231 delegates present, we have reached a quorum and business will now proceed. We will now hold elections for state officers and area advisors. Each candidate will be allowed a 1-minute campaign speech with the exception of candidates for president, who will be allowed 2 minutes. You will be given ballots and pencils for voting. Please do not mark your ballots, and please hold all applause until all speeches have been given. In the event of a runoff, candidates will be allowed a 30-second campaign speech. Are there any questions? We will now hear speeches for the office of president. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. We will now hear from candidate number 1. We will now vote for the office of president. Since this candidate is unopposed, we will vote by acclamation. Are there any objections to the election of this candidate? Hearing no objections, I now present to you your 2016-2017 State President, Gabe Patterson. We will now hear speeches for the office of secretary. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. We will now hear speeches from candidate number 2.
It was a frigid, foggy morning when I, along with 1,000 other runners, lined up for our death sentence, a 3-mile state cross-country meet. The gunfires bang and we explode down the course, struggle up a steep hill before tumbling down a slope right before a sharp curve wind bam. I run straight into a tree. The runners around me push and shove for position, and as I lay on the ground feeling completely defeated, I felt limited by the pressure of others and set back by the obstacle I had run into. It's easy to allow others to navigate life for us when we become less attentive and lose sight of our goals. It's up to us to navigate the curves of life, and then maybe, just maybe, we might make it ahead of the crowd and finish the race. Navigate your own curves of life and always have your passion and goal in mind. I know my goal, and it is within reach. So elect me, Lainey LeBlanc, your Louisiana State FFA Secretary, nominating committee's choice, and together we will cross the finish line.
We will now hear from candidate number 3.
Good afternoon, Louisiana FFA. I am Kendall Fontenot from the Eunice High FFA chapter, running for your 2016-2017 State Secretary. Now, I know I may not be as appealing to the eye as my opponent, but you will remember me by my smooth sounding voice. Now, as many of you may not know, I've been an Area 3 Federation officer for the past 2 years. And during that time, I have represented our great organization by television, radio, and newspaper. Louisiana FFA, let me amplify your voice by electing me as your 2016-2017 State FFA Secretary. Thank you.
We will now vote for the office of secretary. Please write the number of the candidate you wish to vote for on your ballots. As you are finished, do not fold your ballots and please pass them to the vice president closest to you. Please remember, as you are voting, to write the number of the candidate you wish to vote for on your ballot. Do not fold it and pass it to your state vice president nearest your row. Please pass your ballots to your right as you are finished voting.
We ask that the delegates refrain from writing on their green or red cards. We are strictly taking the white ballots. Have all ballots been collected? If your ballots have not been collected, please hold them up so a vice president can come receive them at this time. Are there any ballots left that have not been collected? We will now hear speeches for the office of Vice President representing Area 1. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. We will now hear from candidate number 4. Madam Secretary, will you please announce the candidates for the office of Vice President representing Area 1? For the office of Vice President representing Area 1, nominating committee's choice, Bryce Franklin, Rustin.
We will now vote for the office of Vice President representing Area 1. Since this candidate is unopposed, we will vote by acclamation. Are there any objections of this candidate? Hearing none, I now present to you your 2016-2017 State Vice President representing Area 1, Bryce Franklin. We will now hear speeches for the office of Vice President representing Area 2. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. Madam Secretary, will you please announce the candidates for the office of Vice President representing Area 2?
For the office of Vice President representing Area 2, nominating committee's choice, Bailey Quick, Lakeview.
We will now vote for the office of Vice President representing Area 2. Since this candidate is unopposed, we will vote by acclamation. Are there any objections to the election of this candidate? Hearing no objections, I now present to you your 2016-2017 State Vice President representing Area 2, Bailey Quick. We will now hear speeches for the office of Vice President representing Area 3. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. Madam Secretary, will you please announce the candidates for the office of Vice President representing Area 3?
For the office of Vice President representing Area 3, nominating committee's choice, Gabriel Gobert, Elton.
We will now vote for the office of Vice President representing Area 3. Since this candidate is unopposed, we will vote by acclamation. Are there any objections to the election of this candidate? Hearing no objections, I now present to you your 2016-2017 State Vice President representing Area 3, Gabriel Gobert. We will now hear speeches for the office of Vice President representing Area 4. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. Madam Secretary, will you please announce the candidates for Vice President representing Area 4?
For the office of Vice President representing Area 4, nominating committee's choice, Charlotte Street, Denham Springs. Dalton Matacek, Ponchatoula.
We will now hear from candidate number 7.
Our mic wasn't working.
You're killing me, Smalls. These were my coach's exact words at cross-country championships. She was yelling so loud, it was near to impossible not to hear her. See, I had a big plan. I was going to beat my personal record, then get some good old pecan pie afterwards. But like always, things didn't go as planned. First mile, off by 1 minute. Second mile, off by 2 minutes. Last mile, giving it my all. I did it. I beat my personal record. Some of you may know the notorious quote from Stephen Prefontaine, "To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift." I will not sacrifice the gift. Just like cross country, the FFA requires self-motivation, but also the mentality to not give up. I thrive on challenges, but also I walk away knowing that I did everything that I could. We all have a gift. What makes each and every single one of us different is what we do with that gift. Elect me, Charlotte Street, nominating committee's choice, Area 4 Vice President.
We will now hear from candidate number 8.
What is your passion? Everyone has a passion, and we see it and show it. Since I was a little kid, my passion was to become a Major League Baseball player. Throughout my high school career, that passion changed to the FFA, which is why I want to serve you as your state officer. Through the FFA, I have learned positive speaking skills and became a more extroverted person. By checking Matacek as your state vice president representing Area 4, I will make sure every one of you seek your passions just as I have. Thank you.
We will now vote for the office of Vice President representing Area 4. Please write the number of the candidate you wish to vote for on your ballot. Please do not fold your ballots, and when you are finished voting, please pass your ballots to your right so the state officer can collect them. As you are finished voting, please pass your ballots to your right so they can be collected. Have all ballots been collected? If your ballot has not been collected, please hold it up so it can be received at this time. We will now hear speeches for the office of Treasurer. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. Madam Secretary, will you please announce the candidates for the office of Treasurer?
For the office of Treasurer, nominating committee's choice, Ashley Sebrin, West Washita. Caroline Hardy, Lacassine.
We will now hear from candidate number 9.
Good afternoon, fellow FFA members. My name is Ashley Sebrin, and I am nominating committee's choice for the office of State Treasurer. Ralph Nader once said, "The function of leadership is to produce more leaders, not more followers." If elected to the office of State Treasurer, it would be my goal to help the Louisiana FFA Association continue to be the best it can possibly be. I would strive to help every FFA member achieve the goals that they set within this organization. I would also help the younger members and having more leaders for the future years of our organization. But in order for me to help our fellow members achieve their goals and help the organization continue to be the best it can possibly be, I need your help and vote so I can achieve my goals. So vote for me, Ashley Sebrin, nominating committee's choice for the office of State Treasurer. Thank you, and God bless.
We will now hear from candidate number 10.
Okay, jacket, check. Lint roller, check. Selfie stick, duh. Ready to sing Radio Disney to my advisor for the whole trip, double check. But I know I'm forgetting something. What is it? Oh, why I'm here. I'm Caroline Hardy, and most importantly, I'm asking you, the members of Louisiana FFA, to vote for me as your 2016-2017 Louisiana State FFA Treasurer. I'd love to spend the next year serving the organization that has taught me to step out of my comfort zone, given me so many new friends, and most importantly, given me reason to never leave home without the selfie stick. So check off Caroline Hardy as your 2016-2017 Louisiana State Treasurer. Thank you.
We will now vote for the office of Treasurer. Please mark the number of the candidate you wish to vote for on your ballot. Do not fold your ballot, and when you are finished voting, please pass your ballot to your right so it can be collected. Have all ballots been collected? If you have a ballot that has not been collected, please raise it now so it can be received. We will now hear speeches for the office of reporter. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. Madam Secretary, will you please announce the candidates for the office of reporter?
For the office of reporter, nominating committee's choice, Holly Kay, Natchitoches Central. Maylin Seacard, Denham Springs. Josie Thibodeau, Lake Arthur. Donna Sampe, Central Lafourche.
We will now hear speeches from candidate number 11.
Good afternoon, Louisiana FFA. My name is Holly Kay from the Natchitoches Central FFA chapter, and I would like to start off by thanking NOMCOM for dedicating their state convention time to electing the best state officer candidates to these positions. And next, I would like to thank you, the members, for putting so much time and thought into putting the best people forward to serving the association this upcoming year. I would also like to thank state staff for putting on state convention flawlessly, just like every other year. And last, but definitely not least, I would like to thank God for giving us all the opportunity to come here and serve in leadership positions and any capacity that we can. Thank you, and elect me, State Nominating Committee's report for reporter, Holly Kay.
We will now hear from candidate number 12.
So lately, I have been obsessed with this new song, From the Ground Up, by Dan and Shay. Listening to it in my car, jamming out, I'm talking screaming at the top of my lungs, I realized that these lyrics meant more to me than just lyrics in a song. I started out my FFA life as a freshman, loud, outspoken, and definitely willing to do just about anything to get close to an animal. So naturally, whenever Miss Bingham said, anybody interested in livestock judging, come meet me after the meeting, I ran to the back and said, I'm here. This was me starting from the ground, and everything went up from there. Today, I stand before you, confident, excited, and possesses the required leadership skills needed to lead the FFA. I, Mail and C Card, can't wait to build this organization up as your state reporter.
We will now hear from candidate number 13.
When I first decided to run for state office, I told people it was because I promised my little brother I would. Soon, I realized that wasn't enough for me. One day, my best friend asked me why I really wanted a state office. And I realized in that instance that I wanted to be an encouragement to everyone like he is to me. I want to inspire you like he continues to inspire me every single day. I told myself, Josie, helping people is what God created you for. Servant leadership is the basis of FFA, and being a servant leader is what I want to be for the rest of my life. If elected, I promise that I will always be here for you and be your shoulder to lean on and an ear to listen. So vote me, Josie Thibodeau, for the state office of reporter. Thank you.
We will now hear from candidate number 14.
Louisiana FFA. This week, not only have we learned about how great stories come to be, but how we are all on our own journeys, but being present in others. So please allow me, Donna Sampe, to be present in your journey through FFA as your state reporter for 2016-2017.
We will now vote for the office of state reporter. Please write the number of the candidate you wish to vote for on your ballot. Do not fold your ballot, and when you are finished voting, please pass it to your right so it can be collected. Are there any ballots that have not been collected? If you have a ballot that has not been collected, raise it now so we can receive it. We will now hear speeches for the office of Sentinel. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. Madam Secretary, will you please announce the candidates for the office of Sentinel?
For the office of Sentinel, nominating committee's choice, Zach Little, Winfield, Brennan Uze, Thibodeau.
We will now hear from candidate number 15.
Good afternoon, Louisiana FFA. My name is Zach Little from the Winfield FFA chapter. But first, I'd like to personally thank each and every member of the state nominating committee for the hard work that they do in choosing me to serve as your 2016-2017 state sentinel. This is such a prestigious honor, and I wish to serve completely at the pleasure of the Louisiana State Association of FFA. Before you make your choice in just a moment, I want to leave you with one thing. Think big and vote little.
We will now hear from candidate number 16.
When people think of the FFA, many stereotypes come to mind. They think we're all about sows, cows, and plows, but that is not true. We come from all walks of life, which is very a stereotype too. because people think that only FFA members come from the small towns and farmlands and they have agriculture backgrounds. But the fact is that many of our members come from the big cities and really do not have any agriculture backgrounds. But the point is, it doesn't matter where we come from or what kind of purpose. We always have a great purpose in this organization. So please help me, Brennan Uze. So please vote for me, Brennan Uze, for the office of Sentinel. Thank you.
We will now vote for the office of Sentinel. Please write the number of the candidate you wish to vote for on your ballot. Do not fold your ballots, and when you are completed voting, please pass them to your right so they can be collected. Have all ballots been collected? If you have a ballot that has not been collected, please hold it up now so we can receive it. We will now hear speeches for the office of Sentinel. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. Madam Secretary, will you please announce the candidates for the office of Sentinel? Oh, parliamentarian, I am sorry. For the office of parliamentarian.
For the office of parliamentarian, nominating committee's choice, Benjamin Hoover, Ponchatoula, Madeline Dozat, Lasasse, Kayla Meir, Kaplan.
We will now hear from candidate number 17.
Do y'all know what I believe in? I believe in God, guns, and making gains at the gym. But I also believe in each and every single one of y'all. God gave us 2 ears, 2 eyes, and 1 mouth for a reason, so that we listen and watch more than we speak. But when it comes our turn to speak, that we say it loud and proud. So please elect me, Benjamin Hoover, your nominating committee's choice, as your parliamentarian for the 2016-2017 state officer team.
We will now hear from candidate number 18.
Where did you come from and where will you go? The Cotton Eye Joe is an energetic leg burner of a dance that never fails to unite FFA members. We put all of our dedication into this dance because we are in the hopes of inspiring someone who's not on the dance floor to get up and join. If elected, I will strive to ensure that all FFA members will have the opportunity to show off their moves by teaching them that even the most challenging performance can be done through strong organization, strong leaders, and self-confidence. So, where do you come from and where will you go? Vote me, Madeline Dozad, as your 2016-2017 state parliamentarian, and together we can go to amazing places. Thank you.
We will now hear from candidate number 19.
Okay, I know you've seen this scene before. There's a man standing among the rebel, weeping because of problems caused by his own kind. He says to them, "It is not your fault, but mine." FFA members, lend me your hand as we attempt to fix these problems. We will conquer them all. In these bodies we will live, and in these bodies we will die. Where we invest in our love, we must invest in our life. I stand here before you as a leader, asking you, lend me your eyes, and I will change what you see. Awaken my soul, and an FFA officer I will be. I'm asking you and I am challenging you as the new generation of FFA. Invest in your love, invest in your life, and invest in me.
We will now vote for the office of parliamentarian. Please write the number of the candidate you wish to vote for on your ballot. Do not fold your ballot, and when you are completed voting, please pass your ballot to your right so it can be collected. Have all ballots been collected? If you have a ballot that has not been collected, please raise it now so it can be received. We will now hold elections for area advisors. Keep in mind that area advisors are responsible for coordinating the area officer teams for the year. This includes organizing transportation to and from events, being present at area officer training, SLDC, area CDEs, and much more. In addition, the 4 elected area advisors are voting members of the executive committee that makes important decisions regarding our state association of FFA. We will now hear from candidates for the office of Area 1 Advisor. Please be reminded that the only delegates from Area 1 may vote for these candidates. We will now hear speeches for the office of Area 1 Advisor. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. Madam Secretary, will you please announce the candidates for the office of Area 1 Advisor?
For the office of Area 1 Advisor, Beth Gregory, Mangum.
We will now vote for the office of Area 1 Advisor. Since this candidate is unopposed, we will vote by acclamation. Are there any objections to the election of this candidate? Hearing no objections, I now present to you our 2016-2017 Area 1 Advisor. We will now hear from candidates for the office of Area 2 Advisor. Please be reminded that only delegates from Area 2 may vote for these candidates. We will now hear speeches for the office of Area 2 Advisor. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. Madam Secretary, will you please announce the candidates for the office of Area 2 Advisor?
For the office of Area 2 Advisor, Ryan Riley, Lakeview, Chris Bennett, LaSalle.
We will now hear from candidate number 21.
The year 1938, we saw the first speech for Area Advisor. With it, we learned a couple of things, but the most important thing is stick to your roots. So I have a note from my advisor from 2009. Let me read it. May 1st, 2009. Dear Ryan, you are the best. What can I say? You finally did it. You're better than me. Please vote for me. And that note was signed by Chris Bennett. Thank you.
We will now hear from candidate number 22.
You have heard Bennett to win it. You have heard risk it for the biscuit. But I'm telling you folks, Louisiana FFA, I'm part of an elite organization called the Area Advisors. What Mr. Riley doesn't know is I have a particular set of skills, agricultural skills. Mr. Riley, I don't know who you are or where you come from, but I will find you. And I will teach you that the old man can't be beat.
We will now vote for the office of Area 2 Advisor. Remember, delegates from Area 2 are the only ones that can vote. Please mark your ballots with the number of the candidate you wish to vote for. As you are finished voting, please pass your ballots without them being folded to your right. Have all ballots been collected? If you have a ballot that has not been collected, raise it now so it can be received. We will now hear from candidates for the office of Area 3 Advisor. Please be reminded that only delegates from Area 3 may vote for these candidates. We will now hear speeches for the office of Area 3 Advisor. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. Madam Secretary, will you please announce the candidates for the office of Area 3 Advisor?
For the office of Area 3 Advisor, Lana Myers, Elton.
We will now vote for the office of Area 3 Advisor. Since this candidate is unopposed, we will vote by acclamation. Are there any objections to the election of this candidate? Hearing no objections, I now present to you your 2016-2017 Area 3 Advisor. We will now hear from candidates for the office of Area 4 Advisor. Please be reminded that only delegates from Area 4 may vote for these candidates. We will now hear speeches for the office of Area 4 Advisor. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. Madam Secretary, will you please announce the candidates for the office of Area 4 Advisor?
For the office of Area 4 Advisor, Doug Trish, Central Lafourche. Cade Lejeune, Springfield.
We will now hear from candidate number 24.
Good afternoon, y'all. How we doing today? As in Mr. Lezanne's words from last year, I am the old man. I am Doug Trish from the Central Lafourche High School, and I've been serving here as area advisor for a very long time in the elite group that Mr. Bennett was talking about. I really, totally enjoy doing this. It's what I do. That's why I'm here. We serve you guys. We don't do it for the glory. We don't do it for the money. Because you never, ever, ever see us in the pictures. We never see us pat our backs. We pat you guys' back. We take pictures of you. You're the reason we do this. You're the reason we're here. Do me a favor. Put me back in as Area 4 Advisor. And not only I'll take care of Area 4, but we'll continue taking care of this whole state of Louisiana and keep us rolling. Booyah!
We will now hear from candidate number 25.
Good afternoon, Area 4. I want you right now to take a look around this arena and notice all the empty seats. Do you know what that represents? That represents potential. That is the potential for our state association to grow. That is the potential for our state association to do better. The bottom line is, guys, it's time that our state has a national winning CDE team. It is way past time that we have a national winning proficiency team. And by God, it is time that Louisiana has a national FFA officer. And I believe that Area 4 can lead this state to accomplishing those goals in the next few years. I want you to be able to allow me to work with you so that we can work hard to do this, so that we can bring better things for our members, so that in the next few years we can fill all the seats in this arena so that every single ag education student in this state can become FFA members and have the exact same opportunities that you've had to be as successful as you are. I want you when you leave here to be able to look back in the next few years and know that today you made a decision that's going to greatly affect our state for years and years to come in a positive way. And I'm very confident that you're going to make the correct decision. Have a great day.
We will now vote for the office of Area 4 Advisor. Please mark the number of the candidate you wish to vote for on your ballot. As you are finished voting, please do not fold your ballots, but pass them to your right so they can be collected. Have all ballots been collected? If you have a ballot that has not been collected, please raise it now so it can be received. Thank you, delegates, for participating in these elections. Your votes will determine this association's leadership for the upcoming year. We will now hear from the chairs of our delegate committees as they deliver their committee reports. Once the reports are read, you will have the opportunity to discuss the reports and vote to either accept or reject the reports. You are allowed to amend the reports, but only to the extent that the report's original intents are not altered. If the reports are approved, they will be forwarded to the Executive Committee for further action. Would the chair of Delegate Committee 1 please come forward and deliver the committee report?
Between their first year running for junior vice president and the summer before their senior year of high school. Over. Issue to limit area officer candidates' eligibility to run for office to their time between their first year running for junior vice president and the summer before their senior year of high school. Whereas, historically, area office has been seen as a stepping stone and a way to prepare members to one day run for state office. If students who have graduated high school run for an office, they will potentially deprive younger members of the opportunity to prepare for a state office to run. Additionally, we do not feel that this is proper and appropriate for college-age students to serve on area officer teams with middle school students. Be it resolved that this committee recommends the following: to strike between and replace it with from, and to strike the summer before and replace it with no later than. The amended issue states, to limit area officer candidates' eligibility to run for office to the time from their first year running for junior vice president from their senior year of high school. On behalf of committee members, this report respectfully submitted June 4th, 2015 by Kelsey Thomasy, Chair, Sarah Toll, Vice Chair. The committee recommendation passed by 59 for, 1 against. Witnessed by Sarah Toll, Secretary. Mr. President, I move that this report has been accepted as read.
Because this report comes from a committee, there is an implied second. Madam Chair. Thank you for serving our association as a committee chairman this year. Please accept this gavel as a token of our appreciation. We will now discuss this report. A few notes before we start. The red and green cards that are on your chapter seats are going to be used for debate. Each chapter should have one red and one green card. If you're going to debate in favor of a motion, raise your green card to be called on. If you're going to debate against the motion, raise your red card to be called on. Any questions? All right, we'll now just begin discussion. Is there any discussion on this issue? Is there any discussion on this issue? If there is no more discussion on this issue, we will now proceed to vote by general consent. Are there any objections to passing this report as read? Hearing no objections, I now declare this motion passed. Would the chair of Delegate Committee 2 please come forward to deliver the committee report?
To make the state vice president position from each area open at large if no candidate from that area runs for office, or if the only candidate from that area moves into a higher office. Whereas, For many years, our state association has stressed the importance of maintaining 10 state officers. In an effort to help the association achieve this desired goal, we believe it is imperative that a system be put into place that ensures 10 state officers each year when at least qualified members run for state office. In the event that any of the 4 area fails to submit a candidate for state office, that state vice president office should become open at large to any qualified candidate from any area. Additionally, should any area's only candidate be selected for the offices of state president and or state secretary, then that state vice president office should become open at large to any qualified candidate from any area. In this way, our association can ensure that 10 state officers are maintained at all times, since it is obvious that our association ceases to function when fewer than 10 state officers are serving. Be it resolved that this committee recommends the following: to make the state vice president position from each area open at large if no candidate from that area runs for office, or if the only candidate from that area moves into a higher office. On behalf of committee members, this report respectfully submitted June 4th, 2015 by Hayden Porter, Chair, Tabitha Dove, Vice Chair. The committee recommendation passed by a vote of 63 for, 7 against. Witnessed by Cheyenne Vila, Secretary. Mr. President, I move that this report be accepted as read.
Because this report comes from a committee, there is an implied second. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for serving our association this year as a delegate committee chair. Please accept this gavel as a token of our appreciation. We will now discuss this report. Please remember the rules regarding the red and green cards in your order to debate. Is there any discussion on this report? Is there any discussion on this report? Hearing no discussion, we will now vote by general consent. Is there any objections to passing this motion? Hearing none, the motion passes. Would the chair of Delegate Committee 3 please come forward and deliver the committee report?
To mandate that all candidates for area advisor must go through the state nominating committee process at state convention. Whereas the area advisors represent the members of their respective areas, our state association can be assured that high-quality advisors with the dedication and desire to serve the members of the association for the advancement and betterment of all will be elected. Be it resolved that this committee recommends the following. We move to mandate that all candidates for area advisors submit a formal nomination at time of state convention registration. On behalf of committee members, this report respectfully submitted June 4, 2015 by Philip Howell, Chair, Caleb Meir, Vice Chair. The committee recommendation passed by a vote of 54-7 against, witnessed by Ty Bound, Secretary. Mr. President, I move that this report be accepted as read.
Because this report comes from a committee, there is an implied second. Mr. Chair, thank you for serving our association this year as a delegate committee chair. Please accept this gavel as a token of our appreciation. We will now discuss this report. Again, please remember the rules regarding the red and green cards for debate. Is there any discussion? Mr. Speaker. If you are called on, please state your name and chapter before beginning anything that you say.
Gabriel Sanders from the Beauchamp FFA chapter. I'm against this motion, as is the rest of my chapter, because ag teachers are already for the betterment of all the students. There's no need to require a formal nomination form because they already are qualified. If they are an ag teacher, we consider them to be qualified and know what they need to know to be the advisor.
Is there any more discussion? Madam Speaker.
I'm Taylor Perrodin from the Cali High FFA chapter. I completely agree with what the previous speaker said.
When will we have this nom-com? We cannot possibly do it during state convention. All of these advisors have an entire chapter to look after, as well as judging for state CDEs. They have all been to college and gotten a degree. So why should we put them through more testing, more nom-com, when they already know exactly what they need and they have the credentials to serve us and lead us in the right way?
Is there any more discussion on this motion? Madam Speaker.
My name is Madeline Jennings from the Covington High FFA chapter. I disagree with the previous discussion. I feel that it isn't going to be a formal nom-com. It's just going to be a form, like a nomination form, so that we know who's running and know that they want to run and not that they're putting up for something that they possibly won't be able to do.
Is there any more discussion on this motion? Mr. Speaker.
I want to disagree with Gabriel from Crowley High, FA chapter. I'm disagreeing with the last speaker because if they don't want to do this, they can just reject the nomination whenever it's called on them. So if they want to do it, they're still going to run. So it's pointless to put them through a nom-com because in the end, it's not going to matter because they can just reject it.
Is there any more discussion on this motion? Please, delegates that are debating, this motion does not state anything about a nom-com, so if you keep debating on nominating committee, your debates will not be germane, so they will not be taken into account. Is there any more discussion on this motion? Mr. Speaker.
Sam Tarpley from the Grant High School FFA chapter. I would like to state that because of the size of our association and its recommended areas, we have a very small nomination pool for our area advisor candidates. And because there are only a handful of them for each respective area, I find it irrelevant to submit a nomination because we know that there's only going to be a select few that apply for this prestigious title that we know not only supports each area, but also its area officers that in turn have to serve each area's members. And I find that if we submit a nomination or a formal nomination for each area advisor candidate, then it's simply irrelevant because of the, let's say, mediated and minimal nominating pool.
Is there any more discussion? Is there any more discussion on this current motion? Madam Speaker. Before we continue with discussion, let me remind all the delegates that we are voting on the motion to mandate that all candidates for area advisors submit a formal nomination at the time of state convention registration. This is the only thing we are debating and voting on at this time. Madam Speaker.
My name is Casey Martin from the Franklinton High FFA chapter. I agree that we should have a nominating committee for the area advisors because just because you're an ag teacher doesn't mean you're experienced in the FFA or as being an advisor. So we should have a committee that goes through and looks at these advisors before they're offered as an area advisor.
Is there any more discussion? Mr. Speaker.
I move to amend.
Please state your name and chapter.
Jacob Springs, Springfield High, FFA chapter. I move to amend the motion. I move to amend the report by striking out the words to mandate that all candidates for area advisor submit a formal nomination at the time of state convention, and insert the words to mandate that all candidates for area advisor must go through state nominating committee at state convention.
Is there a second? Can I have one person please stand up to give me your chapter to second?
George Samaripa, Live Oak Chapter. I second.
It has been moved and seconded to amend the motion by striking out the entire motion and inserting to mandate that all candidates for area advisor must go through state nominating committee at state convention. This motion is amendable, is debatable, and requires a majority vote to pass. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Mr. Speaker.
I'm Keegan Neal from the Jennings FFA chapter, and I'm not in favor of this amendment because our ag teachers are very busy throughout the year, so they do not have time to prepare for a non-com. They don't have time to prepare to go through non-com like the rest of us do, and they shouldn't be forced to go through non-com when only one or two of them from each area are going to go through it. It should just be up to the students and the members to go and pick who they feel is best for the position.
Is there any more discussion on this amendment? Madam Speaker.
Danielle Hampton from the Springfield chapter. If we remember, area advisors are a member of the executive committee. They do more than just officer retreat with our officers. If we continue to strive for the best of our association and to continue to move forward each and every year, we'd want the best advisors moving forward with our chapters. This is a student-led organization, and if we want the best advisors and the most qualified, would it not be the best decision to promptly evaluate each candidate?
Is there any more discussion on this amendment? Mr. Speaker.
Ricardo Vargas from the Central Lafourche chapter. Many of our chapters have only one advisor, and there comes liability to who's going to stay back and watch us while they're at NOMCOM. So if NOMCOM happens while state convention is going on, who's going to watch us? They don't have time to do a NOMCOM. They're already all, they have enough, that's it.
Is there any more discussion on this amendment? Mr. Speaker.
Sam Tarpley from the Grant High School FFA chapter. Considering there are varying implications with the already existing state officer nominating committee, I would find it highly irrelevant to have an area advisor nominating committee because they have different credentials and different requirements needed to fulfill their position when compared to a state officer. Therefore, it would also make it more difficult for our association to gather the individuals with the knowledge to interview these candidates when we only have a handful, therefore proving that it's almost a waste of time with our convention because we only have a handful. Therefore, I encourage the rest of the voting delegates to fail this motion, or to fail this amendment.
Is there any more discussion on the current amendment? Madam Speaker.
Alyssa Bonaventure, the Los Angeles FFA chapter. I agree with the previous speaker. I see no problem with the way area advisors are elected already. You see, as it runs smoothly, and seeing that our previous speaker has stated that there is only a select few amount of candidates, I feel this is completely irrelevant because it will take time from state convention to lead the students as a whole.
Is there any more discussion on this amendment? Madam Speaker.
Brandy Bellina from the Assumption FFA chapter. I agree to the amendment by making them go through NOMCON because every advisor is qualified, but there will always be someone who is more qualified. And the way I see the nominations right now is that it's most of the time based on popularity, kind of, because there could be an advisor who would be really good for our area, but he's not well known. So how are you supposed to vote for someone who you don't know that well? And so the more popular one would get the vote, but maybe he's not as qualified to be our area advisor.
Is there any more discussion? Mr. Speaker.
Luke Vizier, Solid Foods FFA chapter. I disagree with the previous speaker because, like, if you have a nomination committee, only that many people get to hear what the advisors have to say, and they're the only people picking who's going to be the advisor pick. So if we do it like we do it now, like picking the advisor, all the delegates get to see and vote on who the advisor is going to be.
Is there any more discussion on this amendment? Madam Speaker.
Aristicia Cole from Bell Chase FFA chapter. I move to previous question.
Is there a second? It has been moved and seconded to end debate with the previous question. This motion requires a 2/3 vote to pass. All those in favor of ending debate with the previous question, please rise. Please remain standing until the Vice President points at you with their clicker. Thank you. All those opposed to ending debate with the previous question, please rise. The vote was 219 for, 0 against. The motion to end debate with the previous question passes. We will now vote on the amendment. If you are in favor of passing this amendment, please rise. Okay, so hold on before we keep going. We just ended debate with the previous question, so now everything that happens, we are only voting. No more discussion can be made. We're voting on the amendment specifically to mandate that all candidates for area advisors must go through the state nominating committee at state convention. If you are in favor of this amendment, please rise at this time. Thank you. All those opposed, please rise. Seeing as the majority is in the noes, the motion fails. We will now vote on the main motion. The main motion is to mandate that all candidates for area advisors submit a formal nomination at the time of state convention registration. This motion is still open for discussion. Is there any discussion on the main motion? Mr. Speaker.
George Samaripa, Live Oak chapter. I move to lay the motion on the table.
It has been moved and seconded to lay the motion on the table. The motion to lay on the table can only be made when there is more urgent business pending. Seeing that we are at state convention and we are in the middle of a business session trying to complete the delegate process, there is no more urgent business pending, so your motion is declined. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, we will now vote on the main motion. All those in favor of passing this main motion, please say aye. All those opposed, please say no. The noes have it, the motion fails. Would the chair of Delegate Committee 4 please come forward to deliver the committee report?
Issue to ensure that no student from a middle school should serve on the area or state nominating committee if the high school into which that middle school feeds has officer candidates. Whereas it is critical that our association take steps to ensure impartiality of the nominating committee. There is an inherent bias if students from a middle school are allowed to evaluate members of their future high school as members of the nominating committee. Be it resolved that this committee recommends the following. No student from a middle school should serve on the area or state nominating committee if the high school into which that middle school feeds has officer candidates. On behalf of committee members, this report respectfully submitted June 4th, 2015 by Emma White, Chair, Destiny Jones, Vice Chair. The committee recommendation passed by a vote of 47 for 1 against, witnessed by Destiny Jones, Secretary. Mr. President, I move that this report be accepted as read.
Because this report comes from a committee, there is an implied second. Madam Chair, thank you for serving our association this year as a delegate committee chair. Please accept this gavel as a token of our appreciation. We will now discuss this report. Is there any discussion on this current motion? Is there any discussion on this current motion? Hearing no discussion, we will now vote by general consent. Are there any objections to passing this current motion? Hearing none, the motion passes. Will the chair of the POA committee please come forward and deliver the committee report?
Whereas opportunities for state and area officers should be increased publicly to reflect a more positive image of our association. Be it resolved that the committee recommend the following. Louisiana FFA state officers are required to take 2 industry sponsorship visits a year, accompanied by an area officer if possible. Be it resolved, the Louisiana FFA Association promote and expand the Days of Service project at the annual state convention to increase involvement. Be it resolved, the Louisiana FFA Association strive for more publicity and media coverage at state events to promote the positive mission of the state association. Respectfully submitted, Josie Hemperly, Chair, Gabriel Watts, Abigail Jenkins, Rashonda Gardner, Yemi Fontenot, Tyler Aiken, Amber Malzahn, David Cambry, and Wesley Wilson.
Because this report comes from a committee, there is an implied second. We will now discuss this report. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will now vote by general consent. Are there any objections to passing this report? Hearing none, the motion passes. Will the chair of the auditing committee please come forward to read the committee report?
The auditing committee, consisting of the 10 state FFA officers as per the Louisiana FFA Constitution, met with Ms. Kathy Connerly, Louisiana FFA Executive Secretary, in regards of the financial standing of Louisiana FFA. The audit was completed in May of 2016. The committee reviewed the 2016 end-of-the-year internal financial statements with Ms. Connerly and state FFA staff. Ms. Connerly answered any questions that arose. The auditing committee determined that the financial status of the Louisiana Association of the FFA is sound and in good standing. The auditing committee makes no recommendations. Respectfully submitted, Amber Malzahn, Chair, Gabriel Watts, Abigail Jenkins, Rashonda Gardner, Yemi Fontenot, Tyler Aiken, Josie Hemperly, David Cambry, and Wesley Wilson.
Because this report comes from a committee, there is an implied second. We will now debate on this current motion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will now vote by general consent. Is there any objections to passing this report? Hearing no objections, this report is passed. We will now proceed with runoff elections. We will now hear speeches for the office of reporter. Each candidate will be given 30 seconds to speak. Please do not mark your ballots or applaud until all speeches have been given. Madam Secretary, will you please announce the candidates for the office of reporter?
For the office of reporter, nominating committee's choice, Holly Kay, Natchitoches Central. Josie Thibodeau, Lake Arthur.
We will now hear from candidate number 11.
As I said earlier, it is just a blessing to be up here, to be able to stand in front of all of you. You all inspire me daily because of your accomplishments throughout this association. Our purpose is to promote leadership, and each and every one of you do that by being a delegate and representing your chapter. Thank you for being such brave individuals and making such a tough decision. No matter what you decide, it is going to be a great year with whatever candidates.
We will now hear from candidate number 13.
We all know the famous song, "Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on." If you vote me, Josie Thibodeau, for the office of State Reporter, I promise you will always have me to lean on. Thank you.
We will now vote for the office of reporter. Please write the number of the candidate you wish to vote for on your ballot. As you are finished voting, please do not fold your ballots, but pass them to your right so they can be collected. Please write the number of the candidate you wish to vote for. As you are finished voting, please do not fold your ballots, but pass them to your right so they can be collected. Have all ballots been collected? If you have a ballot that has not been collected, please raise it now so we can receive it. Thank you, delegates, for participating in this business session. It is your hard work throughout this week that has allowed our association to continue its path towards higher standards. You are to be commended on your dedication and commitment to the Louisiana FFA. Let's also once again thank our leadership delegates for their time and effort in making this delegate process a success. Please be reminded that the 5th general session begins at 4 o'clock p.m. with pre-session starting at 3:30 p.m. The 6th general session begins at 9:30 a.m. Friday with pre-session starting at 9 a.m. At this session, the 2016-2017 state officer team and area advisors will be announced. Immediately following the close of the 6th session, an executive committee meeting will be held with all newly installed officers and advisors. Finally, tonight is chapter night, and then the convention dance will be held at 8 p.m. in the banquet hall of the convention center. Madam Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
I have none, Mr. President.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this meeting? Hearing none, I now declare this session adjourned. Everyone, please exit the arena so we can begin preparation for the pre-session that starts at 3:30 p.m. for the 5th general session.